and Pedro Martinez, and they're both coming off great outings, and we should have a good ball game tonight here at Turner Field. Joe and Ron back with you, and Ron, I guess for you, you've seen a lot of Pedro Martinez, so no surprise to you that he's come back here in the middle of the season and won 5 games for the Phillies.
Well, Joe, I had the distinct pleasure of having the opportunity to face Pedro Martinez, and let me tell you, he is as tough as they come. I faced him in his early years when he was throwing 97 miles an hour with that great changeup. He's a little bit different pitcher now. He's only about 90 to 93, but he says and tells everyone that he's not pitching harder, he's pitching smarter. One of the best pitchers that ever took the mound. On the other side of it, you have Javier Vazquez, who to me is one of the best strikeout pitchers. He attacks the strike zone better than any pitcher that I've seen in the National League this year. He's second in the National League with 216 strikeouts behind Tim Lincecum. So these two guys on the mound tonight should be a low-scoring affair. I like the Braves 4-3.
I like that too. I like it a lot. You see there for Pedro Martinez, he's coming off that 8 innings of shutout ball. He threw 130 pitches. Are you kidding me? At age 37, he said he could do it again tonight if he needed to save the Phillies bullpen. Well, we're getting close to first pitch. Let's hope the rain stays away. Got a good crowd on hand for Game 2 of this 3-game series between the Phillies and the Atlanta Braves. Ron and I will be back with first pitch right after this timeout. Center for Cosmetic Dentistry. Big Smile seat upgrade. JJ's found some lucky fans and is now upgrading their seats. Keep watching to see where their new seats are going to be tonight. Sponsored by the Atlanta Center for Cosmetic Dentistry. What about the weather, Ron?
Well, Joe, you mentioned it in the opening. There's still some showers in the area, but we're looking to get this one in. It's about 74 degrees right now. The wind's out of the east at about 7. That's blowing right to left here at Turner Field. Shouldn't be a problem for some of these hitters in this lineup. Hopefully not the Braves lineup. And speaking of lineups, here's the Phillies lineup for Charlie Manuel. Jimmy Rollins, one of the best leadoff hitters in the game. A little low average right now. Ben Francisco, Chase Utley, Ryan Howard, the big home runs last night in last night's ball game. Jason Worth, Ibanez, Felice, Baco, and doing the pitching is Pedro Martinez. Talked a lot about Javi Vazquez, what a year he's having with some run support. He would be close to 20 wins right about now, but you know, one of the best pitchers, one of the best strikeout pitchers in the National League this year, 216 strikeouts in 197 and a third inning. This guy can bring the heat. He attacks the strike zone, and he throws strikes.
He does throw strikes. You see right there, better than 5-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. His numbers against Philadelphia also could be better this year with a little help. Ron, he's 1-1 in 4 starts. Remember the third game of the season, he came out of the ball game early, leading 10-3.
The Phillies came back and won that game. Lifetime 11-8. Went over the 200 strikeout mark for the third straight year. He's up to 216, and he's done that 5 different times in his career. Here's the defense behind Javi tonight. In the outfield, it'll be Garrett Anderson, Nate McLeod, and Matt Diaz. Third to first, Chipper, Escobar back in there at shortstop, Prado at second, LaRoche at first, and Brian McCann doing the catching. Braves lead the season series 9-7. Atlanta 4-3 against the Phillies here at Turner Field, but the Phillies have been coming on strong in that department after Atlanta took a big season advantage early on. Jimmy Rollins ready to lead it off, hitting .247, 19 homers, 70 driven in. He hit a home run last night. Javi Vasquez first pitch, line and caught by Prado.
Wow, what a play by Martin Prado there. How good has he been at second base? That's the reason why Kelly Johnson hadn't been able to get back in the lineup, because Martin Prado, Bobby Cox has stuck him in there, and he's made play after play. And, of course, we all know he can hit with the best of them.
Hard to imagine that the defensive play of the game is made on the first pitch of the game, but it may well have been.
Maybe it's a good omen.
You bet. Then Francisco, the batter. He had a big night last night playing for Shane Victorino. 3 for 5 with a homer. Bumped his average up to .254. 15 homers overall, including his time with Cleveland. Fouls that one back. You liked what you saw of him last night, didn't you?
Absolutely. And, you know, I talked a lot about the top of this order, but this is a kid that was pretty much a throw-in in that Cleveland deal for Cliff Lee. And, man, did he shine last night. You mentioned it, Joe, earlier. We were talking about it. He had 4 great at-bats last night, hit the ball hard all 4 times. And, of course, that last one got out of the ballpark.
A little bit wide of the plate, 1 and 2. Javi coming off as good a start as he's made all year long. That complete game effort against the Cardinals. I've never seen so many funny swings from good hitters like Albert Pujols. That might stay in play for McCann or LaRoche. Adam wants it, but McCann makes a diving effort and goes into the crowd. I don't think he held on to it, though, did he?
I don't believe he did, but I'll tell you one thing. He knows what's on the line right here. Do you think these guys are going to go out here and just lay down for the Philadelphia Phillies? Brian McCann showed right there. He's all out 100%. They want to win, and they know how important these games are. And he goes all out into the stands here, gave his body up. Might be a little dizzy now, though.
Yeah, it might be. It looked like he was holding his right hand a little bit that braced his fall after he went in. Got around the corner. That railing broke his fall a little bit, too. Good effort. 1 and 2 the count.
We were talking about the top of this order, and can you imagine what the Phillies would do if Jimmy Rollins actually got hot? His on-base percentage right now is only .292.
He's not had a good year. Swing and a miss. Vasquez has his first strikeout of the night. Jimmy Rollins only hitting .247 coming in. 2 out, nobody on for Utley.
He does have 29 stolen bases, so when he does get on, he can definitely take second and third on you. But, you know, again, you talk about this guy at the plate now, Utley and Ryan Howard behind him. A lot of what they do depends on what Jimmy Rollins does and what Shane Victorino does.
Utley was 1 for 5 last night, stole a base, even though it was at a time when he was picked off, but made it into second base, scored a run. Utley 6 for 21 in his career against Javi Vasquez with a homer. Vasquez line against the Cardinals, 9 innings, his second complete game of the year, 7 hits, 2 runs. Both of the runs came in the 9th inning. No walks, 8 strikeouts. Since July 2nd, he's 8 and 2 over 13 starts, finishing with a flourish. Breaking ball 2-0 for a strike.
That's a great pitch by Vasquez there. You go 2-0 against a guy that can take you out of the yard pretty quickly, and he throws a little backdoor slider there. Great pitch by Vasquez.
33 years old, 6'2", 210 out of Puerto Rico. Off the plate, 3-1.
You know, that's what makes this lineup so dangerous. You can't really pitch around this guy because you got Ryan Howard on deck, and probably one of the most underrated players in Jason Worth out there behind him. So this is a Phillies lineup. If you pitch around one guy, the next guy just as well likely can take you deep also.
Another breaking ball. This one missed. And Utley draws a 2-out walk. And here's Ryan Howard, who hit 2 long ones again last night. And if you can believe it, over his last 5 games against Atlanta this season, he has 3 multi-home run games.
Joe, his last 7 games against the Braves, he's hit .480 with 7 home runs and 12 RBIs. And you mentioned the multi-hit game. They have got to try to something different. And you and I talked a lot about this. They're going to have to start pitching inside of this guy, because when he gets his arms extended from about right center all the way to left, he's just as powerful as anybody's ever played the game.
No question. Got to tie him up some. Slow curve instead, outside ball 1.
I thought the at-bat that he had when Boone Logan came in the game, he tried to come inside, he hit him. I don't mind that, because you've got to get him off that plate. And you take a look at these numbers, man, that's just phenomenal by a guy. He's just tearing up the National League East as well as the Braves also.
Now those are the last 7 games against Atlanta. Before that, they covered him pretty well as he takes a strike. The first 9 games of the season, he only drove in 2 runs against Atlanta because Victorino and Rollins weren't getting on. Nobody to drive in. 2 RBIs in the first 9. He's driven in 12 in the last 7. One and one. Utley, 22 for 22 in stolen bases. Another slow off-speed pitch. 2-1.
Yeah, the Phillies are pretty good at stealing bases. They have a stolen base percentage of 82.7, so that's pretty darn good.
Yes, they're always, seems like they're always near the league lead in that.
It's second in the National League.
Another slow curve, deep to right. Diaz has room. This one will stay in the park, and the Phillies will come up short here in the first inning. They strand a runner. We go to the bottom of the first. Braves coming to bat. No score.
Top, Nate McLeod, Martin Prado, who you just saw make a spectacular play in the top of the first, Chipper Jones, Brian McCann, who's been hot as a pistol the last week or so, Garrett Anderson, Yuno Escobar, Adam LaRoche, Matt Diaz. On the mound for the Philadelphia Phillies, one of the best pitchers that ever took the mound, Pedro Martinez. 7 starts, 5-0 for the Phillies this year. the Phillies made the right decision by taking a chance, Joe, on going out and getting this guy. And 37 and 2/3 innings. Just a phenomenal pitcher. Only 6 walks, 34 strikeouts. So he's still striking out guys also, even though he doesn't throw as hard as he used to.
Yeah, that's what grabbed me at first, was the 6 walks in 37 innings. So coming back from a season last year with the Mets where he went 5-6 and a 5.60 ERA and 20 starts, he is much sharper. This is down low to McLeod, 1-0. Nate went 0 for 5 last night.
Nate's been pretty good since he's come off the DL, though. He's hitting .373 with 3 homers, 9 RBIs, and that's 13 games.
Yeah, that 0 for last night, a rarity for him. 0 for 6 in his career against Pedro, who's now 37 years old. 2 hopper to Howard. He'll take it to the bag himself. There's one away, and Prado will be the batter.
Let's take a look at the defense for the Philadelphia Phillies. Out in the outfield from left to right, got Ibanez, Francisco, who had to hit the ball hard all night last night, worked. And on the infield from third to first, Felice, Rollins, Utley, Ryan Howard, and behind the plate doing the catching is Paul Bacco.
Martin Prado had another good night last night, 2 for 4 with a homer. He is 8 for his last 13. Has his average up to 298.
Boy, what a player this guy is. You got to have a guy like him on every ball club.
Pedro fastball, slider, changeup. He'll bump his fastball up there if he has to, but like you said, Ron, he's down around 90, 91 most of the time now. Hard hit to third, but Pedro Felice, solid third baseman, makes the play. 2 down.
Joe, I just looked up something on Pedro Martinez, and he's had some really good years, especially with the Red Sox. But in 2002, he had 20 wins and only 4 losses. But listen to this one. In 1999, he had 23 wins and 4 losses with a 2.07 ERA. He threw 213 and a third innings, and he had 313 strikeouts.
That's amazing.
Now, that's got to be one of the best pitching performances on record in a year.
And he did win the Cy Young Award. 3 Cy Young Awards for him, 97, 99, and 2000. An 8-time All-Star. And as you see, 11 wins against the Braves. Also has 10 losses. Chipper in his career against him, just a 188 career average, but he's also hit 3 homers off of it. Chipper was 1 for 4 last night.
You know, we're talking to some of the guys over in the booth for the Phillies, and you know, you asked him, Joe, you said, is he throwing a lot of changeups? And he said no, he's going with all fastballs, and he's throwing his changeup off of that. But he's really proud of his fastball right now, even though it's about 93 miles an hour tops.
Yeah, I figured he'd come back and be just a guy who tried to trick you, that he wouldn't have enough on his fastball, but that's not the case. 3-1 to Chipper.
Well, that changeup's always been pretty devastating, and if he can still throw it at 93, then, and the other thing is he can throw any of those pitches at any time because he has that kind of command.
See what he does here. 3-1. Change up that missed, and there's a 2-out walk to Chipper. Martinez in his last start, 130 pitches. It was the most since May of 2001 against Seattle. 8 innings, 6 hits, no runs, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts, and he beat the Mets 1-0. Phillies got their only run in the first inning. Brian McCann, the batter, he's hit in 7 straight, including a 3 for 4 night last night and a big 3-run homer. Talk about putting an end to an 0 for 20. He has gone 14 for 26 since that 0 for 20 spell. Gotta love the 11 RBIs in the 7 games too.
Yeah.
Big shift on for him. And he hits it into the shift right to Utley, who will handle it. and throw him out. That'll do it for the Braves. We've played 1 inning at Turner Field. No score.
Know-how question of the game built by the Home Depot. If you have a question, send us your email, and if chosen, we will answer it later in the game. Send your email to braves@peachtree.com. Please include your name and where you're from. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot.
And Jason Worth will lead off for the Phillies here in the second. Worth, Ibanez, and Felice due up. Jason was 3 for 4 again last night. He's been a hot hitter, but he's been steady all year long, and he takes a strike. 34 homers, 90 driven in.
Yeah, Joe, you're absolutely right. I think a lot of Ryan Howard's success is because of this guy hitting behind him. You think you're going to pitch around Ryan Howard and get out of an inning. Well, Jason Worth has been just as good as anybody on that Phillies ball club driving in runs.
And likes to work the count. 2-1. He hasn't had any luck against Javi Vasquez in his career. Just 2 for 19 with 7 strikeouts. See if that continues tonight for Javi. On the corner, 2-2.
Yeah, Javi's got a lot of guys on that list.
Only 2 runs allowed for Javi in his last 2 starts. He was the National League Player of the Week last week.
Well, Joe, you're doing something if you shut out the, shut down the St. Louis Cardinals offense, as good as they are. To me, probably the best offense other than the Phillies in the National League, and he just carved them up like they were nothing.
He really did. He made Albert Pujols take the funniest swings I've ever seen him take. 2-2. Foul back again. Worth did this last night. You might remember against Manny Acosta, and was able to, with the bases loaded, finally get a pitch he could handle and drive it back through the middle for a 2-run single. It was in the 8th inning, and those proved to be big runs. Curve just missed. Bill Welke, the home plate umpire tonight.
Joe, this is one of the toughest pitchers for a hitter to hit right here. It's that backup curveball, backup slider, because the hitter, you're expecting it to break out over the plate and it stays inside. I've actually jammed myself on pitches like that before.
Payoff pitch, got him anyway. Second strikeout for Vasquez.
You take a look at Javier Vasquez's numbers before the All-Star break, and he had a record of 6-7, but he had a 2.95 ERA, and since the break, he's 7-2 with a 3.10 ERA. So right there, it just shows if he had some run support, that would be a lot better.
No question about it. You said he would be close to 20 wins, and I don't disagree with you at all on that. Raul Ibanez, the batter, 0 for 4 last night. Four home runs for him in his last 12 games. Change up, 1-1.
Well, I tell you, the first half of the season, this guy was just about as hot as anyone. But you take a look at these numbers in August, he's at 193, and that's when he came back from the DL. And in September, he's doing a lot better. But the first half, he was probably one of the guys in the running for the MVP.
He probably was the first half MVP, and certainly the guy that everybody was talking about is the best free agent signing in the offseason because of those numbers right there.
Yeah, he's one of them. You look at CC Sabathia, he's got 17 wins for the Yankees now. But this guy, I tell you, from an offensive point of view, he's been really good.
Called strike 2. That's what I've enjoyed watching Javi Vasquez do all season long, Ron, is use different pitches in just a wide variety of counts. He can strike you out with any one of about 4 different pitches.
How can he not stay on one ball club? He's that good. I mean, he's good enough. Yeah, he's good enough to be a number 2 or a number 3 on one of the best pitching staffs in baseball. So how can he not stay on a ball club for long? He's been bouncing around for the last few years.
I don't get it. I really don't. I mean, and he takes the ball every 5th day. Never on the disabled list. Cranks out 200+ innings every year.
Maybe it's because everybody does want him.
Yeah. Fastball almost got it by him. Still 2-2. The Dodgers clocked the Giants today. That's already a final. They had a day game, and the Dodgers beat them 12-1.
Wow.
Just destroyed Brad Penny. Cincinnati's taken a 1-0 lead over Florida in the second. Florida had a miracle rally last night, got 4 in the 9th, and beat the Reds. Full count now to Ibanez. Colorado and Arizona get started a little later. Payoff pitch. Curve. And fought it off. Good crowd here tonight for the second game of 3 between these NL East rivals. Phillies now with an 8-game lead. That's over Florida, 8.5 over Atlanta. Got him with an off-speed pitch. 3rd strikeout.
Like a little change up here, change speeds on him, and he pretty much did that the whole at bat. He would throw a little bit of breaking ball when he was behind in the count. He would throw off speed ahead of it. And this is a little change up floating away there, a little two-seam change up, and perfect location there. There's no chance for Ibanez to get a hold of that one.
Got great arm action on it too, doesn't he?
You know, that
very
makes
deceptive.
That's right. That makes a huge difference when you're standing at the plate and a guy, his arm angle and his arm action looks like a fastball, and it just comes out with like a parachute comes out of it. Sometimes you look like you want to swing at that thing 3 times before it gets to the plate.
Pedro Feliz falls behind 0-1. He took an 0 for 4 last night. Hits that one through the hole on the right side. Base hit. A 2-out hit. First knock of the night for the Phillies.
You know, I think the Phillies thought that Feliz was going to hit a little bit more, but he's been fantastic over at third base. He's made all the plays for him all year long. So there's no problems there on defense.
And still he's driven in right at 70 runs with all the other bangers they've got driving in runs. That's pretty good production from your third baseman who, as you said, picks just about everything over there. Baco signed mid-season, playing for Carlos Ruiz tonight, who has a sore wrist. Takes ball 1. Ruiz hurt his wrist a few days ago, and then last night took that hard slide from Matt Diaz at the plate, and it aggravated that wrist injury in his glove hand, so he missed the second half of the game and misses tonight. Might play tomorrow. Change up. 1-1.
Paul Bacco's been well traveled also, but he's one of those guys that when he's behind the plate, pitchers really like throwing to him. He's not going to hit very much at the plate, but he's pretty good back there behind the plate.
Does a pretty good job of throwing at base stealers too. In the dirt, and I stopped by McCann. I thought Bacco had one of the bigger at bats of the night last night. Phillies were up 5-3, but in the ninth inning, after 1 out, he drew a walk from Vladimir Nunez, and that led to a 4-run inning. 3-run homer by Rollins, solo shot by Francisco, and they pretty much put it away at that point. Three and one with the pitcher on deck. Would love to have Martinez lead off the third.
You know, one of the stats that I look at with this Phillies ball club is, 39 of the 86 wins that they've had this year, which is almost half their wins, have been come from behind wins.
Pulled foul, 3-2. By the way, in the third inning, we're going to be joined by Melanie Oudin, the young 17-year-old tennis phenom who captured the tennis world during the U.S. Open, made it to the quarterfinals. She's going to join us. She's here at Turner Field tonight, signing autographs, and she's going to come up and tell Ron Gant and I how to hit a backhand. Runner goes, and it's ball 4. Before the game, Melanie walked around with the Tomahawk team. They were shooting T-shirts in the crowd. She's hitting signed tennis balls into the crowd. So we'll look forward to visiting with her next inning. 2 walks for Avi Vasquez. That's a rarity already at this stage of the game. And Pedro Martinez, the batter, he's 1 for 12 since he joined the Phillies. A career average of 100.
Yeah, I don't think he's worried too much of that about that part.
No. Vasquez just mowed down the St. Louis Cardinals and did it quickly last Sunday. He's thrown 42 pitches already tonight. A walk in the first and a single and a walk here in the second.
Yeah, you would have liked to have seen him, throw a strike to Paul Bacco and make him put it in play with the pitcher up there.
But he gets Pedro.
Always want that pitcher leading off the next inning.
Struck out the side as it is. That's 4 on the night. We go to the bottom of the second. Piedmont Hospital injury report. Get the perfect balance of health and care at Piedmont Hospital. Preferred healthcare provider of the Atlanta Braves. Visit PiedmontHospital.org. Derek Lowe expected to make his next start despite the blister on Monday. Mike Gonzalez and Ryan Church day-to-day with their stiff lower backs. Might see Mike as early as tomorrow. We'll see. Between innings, Ron, you caught this.
Yeah, it looked like Javier Vasquez wanted to ask Bill Wilkie about a pitch that he threw that was pretty close. And Mr. Wilkie says, yeah, it was close, but he had the ball. So, you know, I'm sure Mr. Wilkie will keep a little bit more closer attention to some of those pitches. But Javier Vasquez putting his word in early.
Yeah, it was good. He did it in such a way that didn't irritate him, so at least let him know he thought he had a strike on a particular pitch. Anderson, Escobar, and LaRoche due up here in the second against Pedro. Garrett didn't like that one. Garrett was 1 for 4 last night. He's hit in 4 straight. He's averaging 275. 8 for 34 in his career against Martinez. Joe, I don't think Garrett liked that one either.
Yeah, no. Yeah, and Vasquez is going to probably let him hear it again. But, you know, I talked about Pedro Martinez having those 313 strikeouts in '99. He and Randy Johnson are the only 2 active pitchers with 300 Ks in a season. Randy's done it 6 times. No surprise there.
No. No, not at all. Left-handers only hitting .203 against Pedro for the year. That changeup takes its toll on them. Backdoor slider. He beats the shift down the third base line. How about that? Garrett's on his way to second with a 2-strike double. Ibanez came up to throw to third, and there was nobody standing there. They had a shift on for Garrett, and we haven't seen that against Garrett much this year, Ron.
Not much at all. McCann, you see it every so often, but, you know, I think that if you're going to play over there, you're going to play that shift. As a pitcher, you don't want to cross your defense up and throwing pitches away out over the plate. So they know that Garrett Anderson, if you come inside of him, he can turn on a fastball with the best of them. But if you're going to play a shift like that, don't pitch him away or you're going to get beat.
That was a thing of beauty. Here's Yunel Escobar, who last night was benched after not running out a ground ball to Bobby Cox's liking in the first inning. Try to get him over to third base. Here was that play last night that Bobby took exception to. And had it not been for the bad throw, maybe it would have gone unnoticed pretty much, Ron. But a bad throw by Utley emphasized it.
Yeah, that's why you have to run hard at all times, especially coming out of the batter's box there.
Tries to bunt him over and can't. 0-2.
You know, and I know, you know, a lot of talk radio and in the papers today, Bobby got a lot of grief for that because he took him out of the ball game. And, yes, you want to have your best players in there. But, you know, that's happened to me before as a veteran player, having to get on a younger player. Pretty much did the same thing, didn't touch first base. So I went in and said it right in his face, right in front of everyone in the dugout. So for a veteran player to be able to do that and take some of the heat off the manager so he doesn't have to take you out of the ball game, you know, it's something that maybe some of these veteran players should do instead of Bobby Cox all the time. Talk to this guy and say, hey, you got to hustle all the time, do the things right, and you'll be around this game a long time.
That's a good point. And there are certainly some veteran voices in the dugout that could step in and police that a little bit.
It definitely takes the pressure off the manager because whenever the manager makes a move, it's magnified the next day.
Goes the other way, and that's going to drop for a hit. Anderson had to wait to make sure it was going to drop. Base hit for Escobar, first and third, nobody out. Yunel 4 for his last 12.
Hanging breaking ball, and you could see right there the arm angle by Pedro got underneath that ball, and that's the reason why it spun up in the strike zone. And right now, the way Escobar's swinging the bat, especially after last night, he's going to be really focused and try to do well. You can't throw hanging breaking balls to him.
And something else there too, Ron, the fact that because Yunel was thinking about going to right field to get the runner over, we're at a different situation. That ball might have been hit out of here. Here's LaRoche. 2 for 4 last night. Chance to put the Braves on top early. Change up and a beauty. 0-1.
Yeah, this is something I read today, and coming from Chipper Jones, and he kind of talked about the team, and they said, they asked him about Adam LaRoche, and he said, look, we have got to sign this guy back. That's the reason why we got him in that trade, is so we can get a first baseman that can catch it and hit for some power. And he's done that ever since he's been back in the Braves uniform.
Certainly has. 0-2.
But it's, if you're Adam LaRoche and you see that Chipper Jones, or you hear that Chipper Jones has that type of respect and thinks of you that way, it's got to make you feel good.
You betcha. And they are pals, certainly. Martinez has gotten ahead of all 3 hitters 0-2 this inning, but they're on the corners with nobody out. And a base hit on an 0-2 count to LaRoche. That'll put the Braves on top. Escobar will stop at second. Adam LaRoche comes through again, his 75th RBI overall. 1-0 Braves.
Well, Joe, that was right on cue there.
Yes, it was.
We can talk about Adam LaRoche, all night long, but bottom line is this guy can flat out hit. He can hit with runners in scoring position. That's not an easy pitch. It's actually a changeup running down by the knees. He has so much leverage and so good a balance up there that he can go down there and stay back and just drive through the baseball.
He and Glenn Hubbard having a discussion about that at bat as Matt Diaz comes to the plate. Matt batting 8th tonight. He's hit in 5 straight, and he has worn out the Phillies this year. 20 for 38. That's a .526 average and 4 homers. Martinez made a start against the Braves earlier this year. That was August 28th. You might remember it got rain shortened, at least for the starters. That was the game Tommy Hanson pitched 2 innings, gave up 1 run, and sucked up a loss. Pedro didn't go long enough to get the win because of the rain delay. He went 2 innings, gave up a hit and no runs. No decision. Phillies won it 4-2. Pitch on the corner, 1-2. Braves trying to put together a big inning here. 3 straight hits, all on 0-2 counts. Bill Welke and Matt Diaz going at it.
He is in the box and he's still talking to Welke.
Braves had some problems with Welke last night at first base. Swings at a pitch that wasn't a strike. Phillies will only get 1. They're on the corners with 1 out.
Take a look at this pitch here, and that's close, probably a little bit off the plate there, and Diaz kind of has a beat there, but Pedro Martinez is always going to get the benefit of the doubt, but to me that's about 3 or 4 inches off the plate. So to me, Diaz had something to gripe about there. You take a look at the last pitch that he swung at. He had to swing at it because he feared that it was going to get called again.
Sure, it was a smart play on his part because he can't take a chance that Welke will call it a ball, especially after their discussion. Javi Vasquez, the batter. Javi's had a good year offensively, hitting .194. Last 14 games, hitting .357 with a double and an RBI. Bunt the runner over, and does so. Smart base running by Escobar. He came down as far as Feliz because he could score if nobody comes over to cover third, but Rollins hustled over there to force him back. Sacrifice goes 5-4.
And this is what you're supposed to do as a runner at third base, is you're supposed to follow that third baseman. As he keeps going, you go. And if he feels it and throws it first, you can walk into home plate. But Jimmy Rollins does a great job. The Phillies have been one of the top teams in defense every year, and that's the reason why they won the World Series last year.
Yeah, they can catch it. Second and third, 2 out for McLeod. Nate grounded out his first time up. Nice to pick up both of those runners here in the second. Braves already leading 1-0.
Yeah, with first base open and a right-hander, Martin Prado, on deck, you would think Pedro would try to pitch around him, at least pitch off the corners to see if he'll chase anything, but he's going right after him.
Jammed him badly, but that ball's going to spin foul, and that's a break for McLeod. Nate's 0 for 6 in the series, 0 for 7 in his career against Martinez.
Braves are batting average with 2 outs. They're the first in the National League with runners in scoring position at a .282 clip. Behind them, the Marlins and Brewers.
Yeah, pretty good gap there between Atlanta and Florida. The 1-2 pitch in the air to left, playable for Ibanez, and he's got it. Braves get on the board first. They get a run on 3 hits. They leave a couple. We go to the third inning. Looking forward to joining Melanie Boudin here in the booth. Braves up 1-0. Welcome back to Turner Field, folks. Here are the recipients of the Big Smile Seat Upgrade, sponsored by Dr. Deborah Gray King and the Atlanta Center for Cosmetic Dentistry. The place in Atlanta to get a beautiful smile. And the way the rain's been coming down, not a bad thing to be over near the tarp. But so far, so good tonight. Joe Simpson and Ron Gant with you here at Turner Field, where the Braves are taking a 1-0 lead. Top of the order for the Phils. Rollins lined out his first time up, and a great grab by Martin Prado to start the game. And Vasquez pitching with the lead, fires a strike. Jimmy Rollins, in the first 15 games of the season against Atlanta, had scored a total of 2 runs. He had 2 last night. Another line shot. This one grabbed by Chipper. Hang with him, J-Roll. Wow.
That ball was smoked. And it's hit even harder when you're playing in at the edge of the grass if you're Chipper Jones, because you got to have the your infield play in with Rollins up at the plate because he's a threat to bunt there, and that ball is smoked. Good reflexes there, Chipper.
A hard out to be sure, and here's Francisco, who struck out swinging his first time. Vasquez has fanned 4. Check swing toward Prado, and Jimmy Rollins hits a rocket for an out, and there's a check swing single. Go figure.
Yeah, they say they even out, but I don't totally agree with that.
Man.
But you'll take it.
You bet you will.
Yeah, pretty good breaking pitch there by Vasquez, and he can make you do a lot of things like this, take some funny swings there, and really good sharp break on it. Fooled him, but got enough on it to get her over the infielder's head there.
Chase Utley walked his first time. Got to keep an eye on Francisco at first, too. He's 14 out of 18 in stolen bases. 1-0.
You know, that's what you like about this Phillies ball club, if you're a Phillies fan, is they can do pretty much everything. They can hit 3 and 4, grand slams and steal bases, and they play great defense. They got a great starting rotation. A little bit of chink in the armor in the bullpen. We talked about Brad Lidge and his struggles all year long. He got his 30th save, though, Thursday night. The other thing is it's not just at Citizen Bank's ballpark there. They do it on the road. They hit everywhere. They're that good of an offensive ball club.
Two 2-0 the count to Utley. 3-0. Bobby's already walked 2. Ryan Howard on deck.
Yeah, you most certainly would like to see Ryan Howard come up to plate with no one on, but again, the top of this order is pretty good at getting on base and stealing bases.
To first. Nice stop by LaRoche. Touches the bag down to second. Not in time. Good play by Adam. From the knees, he had to tag the bag and then throw to second. Got 1, but couldn't get 2, and that'll bring Howard to the plate. And Ron, as we watch this replay, we are pleased to be joined in the booth by Melanie Udan, who put everybody on our ear. Melanie, with your work in the U.S. Open, nice going.
Thank you very much.
And welcome home.
Thank you.
Well, Melanie, I know it's been pretty quick and pretty fast, as I'm sure it's hit you pretty hard, but have you had a chance to just sit down and think about what you've actually done over the last month or so?
I have. Since I've been home a little bit, I got to hang out with some of my friends and just go back to just everything being normal. But it's very different. A lot of people know who I am now that didn't before, so it's pretty crazy.
Well, Ron and I can attest to how difficult it can be in New York with the press, but I think you won them over. That seemed to go okay.
Yes, they seemed to like me. They thought I was very genuine. And just a normal kid. They were very surprised by that, but that's who I am.
And you're a Marietta native.
Yes.
And where you have a twin sister, and she's still in high school, right? Mm-hmm. And where does she go to school?
She goes to Walker High School.
All right.
Yep. And then a little sister as well.
So you put away Dementieva, and it's like everybody noticed all of a sudden when you beat her, and then the match with Sharapova. Talk about beating Maria Sharapova.
It was amazing. I think that whole experience of playing her, I had so many emotions going through my mind, and I even cried after because I'd put so much into it, and to be able to come out with a win like that was so nice for me.
Check swing by Worth, a little bloop to right. Diaz with 2 outs will make the catch. The Phillies threaten, but they come up empty. And Melanie, if you'll join us and stick around for another half inning, we'd love to talk to you some more.
Sure.
All right, we'll be back. Braves lead 1-0. fan will have the chance to win free airfare for 2 if the Braves hit a home run during this inning. Visit PeachTreeTV.com/Braves for official rules and enter for your chance to win. AirTran Airways, go. There's nothing stopping you. Martin Prado leads off the inning, and he hit a home run in this inning last night to make a winner of the fan. Joe Simpson, Ron Gant, and Melanie Udan up here in the booth. I'm assuming you are a big Braves fan.
I do not know much about about baseball, but if I was a fan of any baseball team, it would definitely be the Braves.
Long drive by Prado again. This one short hops the wall. He's got at least 2. He'll pull into second with a leadoff double. And Martin continues his hot hitting.
Joe, he can do it all, man. He can run, he can hit, and he can play great defense, and that's the reason why Bobby Cox leaves him in that lineup. A great player here. This is a mistake by Pedro right over the plate. A fastball. They're kind of running back to him, and he doesn't miss those.
Braves got one off Pedro last inning. Could have had some more, but he was able to pitch out of trouble. And Chipper, the batter. Chipper was your catcher today when you threw out the first pitch, right, Melanie?
Yes, he was. I got to meet him, which was very exciting. He's one of the few people that I actually do know in baseball.
Well, he's a good one.
That should be out of play and is. Okay, we've got you on video. I mean, what's new? We get to see you play tennis on video. Now we get to see your first pitch. I thought it was pretty good form. Not bad at all.
Not too bad.
Chipper looks kind of funny with the catchers, you know.
Yeah, he did. New position for him. 1-1 the count.
Well, Melanie, what do you think your strongest part of your game is?
For me, I almost think that my mental toughness is one of my huge strengths out there, and like my belief at the U.S. Open was a key thing for me, and that's why I wrote it on my shoes.
Yeah, that's one of the first things you have to have is believe in yourself. And you know, sometimes when you go out there and you press a little bit, you make your mistakes. But if you go out there and have fun and have belief in yourself, then you're going to do well. And you did do that. Now, is there anything that you need to work on, you think?
Definitely in my game, I think I need to work on my serve some. I'm never going to be very big, so I've got to be really precise, and my percentages have to be really good.
What are you, about 100 miles an hour now on your show?
The fastest one I've hit is 104.
Oh, my goodness.
So that's all, though. I mean, but like most people are serving 110, 120,
right.
So I want to try to get a little bit faster.
Most I ever hit was about 97. It wasn't a tennis ball, though.
You hit a lot of 97 fastballs. Ron and I would like to ask you, for lessons, too. We're trying to work on our backhand, so we'll need some help with that, if you don't mind.
I think I could help you out.
All right, great. Excellent. There's your shoes.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Thank you.
That's great to leave little mental notes around, even write them on your bags and stuff like that to remind you to go out there and relax and believe in yourself. That's very smart at your age.
Thank you.
2-1 to Chipper, runner at second. Nobody out. Big curve, 3-1. What's next? What's the next event?
Next for me, I'm playing in Tokyo, Japan.
No kidding.
And then Beijing, China. So,
wow.
Yes, I'm going all the way out to Asia for those.
When?
I'm leaving Monday, actually.
Well, good luck. That's wonderful.
Thank you.
Have you been over there?
I haven't ever, so I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be very different to America, but we'll see.
Hit off the glove of Howard into right field. Prado had to go back to second for fear that Howard was going to catch that, so he only moves up 90 feet. They're on the corners again. Nobody out. Chipper's got a base hit.
Yeah, Chipper's starting to round back into form here. We all know that he's been going through a little bit of a slide, had some ailments, but he's starting to stay on the baseball again there like the first part of the year. I like what I'm seeing.
So now I have a story that was relayed to me that I didn't know about. You played great in the U.S. Open, knocked off a couple of high seeds, but apparently you weren't real big in your hotel. What happened there? You got kicked out of your hotel?
I heard this story and I can't believe it.
Okay, this story, people made up a lot of stuff about it, but the only thing that really is true is that we moved across the street to the Intercontinental from the Marriott.
Okay, so you didn't get kicked out.
We did not get kicked out. We had the hotel booked through Wednesday, and my coach went to try to keep the room reservation.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, exactly, and they were gonna make us pay like 3 times as much as what we were paying. So we were like, all right, we'll just go across the street, and they gave us the tournament rate and everything. So
It's the old fish story. Keeps getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, they just made a big deal out of it, and it wasn't a big deal at all. But then we had calls from the Grand Hyatt and the Parker Meridian and all of these places saying, oh, Melanie can come stay here, for like a low price. And
yeah, you're not going to have that problem anymore.
1-1 to McCann. Ryan grounded out his first time. Takes low. What's the worst part about all this so far, Melanie? I mean, it's wonderful that you advance to the quarters, but is there a downside to this from the fame standpoint?
The only downside to it, I think, is that it's just a lot of other things that could distract you from the tennis part. It's a lot of media. It's a lot of different people knowing who you are now, and just a lot of stuff that comes with it that I didn't necessarily know about before I, did well at the U.S. Open. I didn't really see it coming at all because I was just focusing on the tennis part. So it's definitely I'm gonna have to get used to it, but it's definitely worth it to play the tennis like I'm doing.
How about the marriage proposals? I'm sure they've come too, right?
Well, I'm only 17, so I think I have a while.
But I bet your phone's ringing off the wall.
For that. Yeah, I have a boyfriend though, so.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm taken.
All right.
I don't blame him. That's for sure.
2-2 the count to McCann. Hard hit into right. Smoked it into right field. That'll drive in Martin Prado. Chipper will pull up at second. Braves up 2-0. Bringing the Braves some luck, Melanie.
I'm happy to. This is actually really exciting. I haven't been to a baseball game since I was in the first grade, I think.
Is that right?
Yep.
Well, we'll see you back here a lot, I'm sure.
Hopefully.
Garrett Anderson will step in. He started the second inning with an opposite field double. For McCann, his 87th RBI.
We talked about the Braves hitting with runners in scoring position, and this is one of the guys that's been a big part of that.
.43 pitches for Pedro. Prado started the inning with a double. 2-0 Atlanta. Nobody out. Curve for a strike.
Now you talked about your sisters, Melanie, and we asked you during the break there, do they play tennis? And it sounds like it runs in the family.
Yes, it does. My twin sister plays at Walker for her high school and is one on the team. And
long
my little
drive
sister
to right.
plays too.
Worth on the track will haul it in. Chipper will advance. McCann will stay at first. Well, to all of the Udans, we congratulate you, but especially you, Melanie, for your success. We thank you for joining us tonight. Well done. We're all very proud of you.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we'll be watching you in Asia, okay?
Okay, sounds
all right, go get them.
Thank you.
Melanie Udan, quarterfinalist in the U.S. Open, just recently completed from Marietta. I think she's a good luck charm.
I believe so. Smart young lady, too.
Tell you what, you get well versed in talking to the press when you're playing tennis in New York, huh?
Yeah.
Look out. Hit him on the hand or the guard, I'm not sure. Must have missed the guard because it popped kind of loud, Ron. That'll load him up.
Yeah, let's hope it's the guard there, because we talked about Unel being in that lineup. They really need him in there. A little breaking ball. Got him on the guard there.
I hope it got the guard. Yep. Right on the spot on that guard. I hope it deflected it a little bit. Unel was getting some attention from Jim Lovell and players and coaches in the dugout between innings. I don't know what it was about. I don't know if he was maybe just not feeling well or not, but now he gets plunked. And even with that guard, maybe it got the ulnar nerve. But he will trot to first. That'll load him up with 1 out for Adam LaRoche.
Certainly glad it was a hanging breaking ball there.
Pedro's never been shy about pitching inside, Ron, but that, as you said, was a breaking pitch. Third hit batsman for him. Rich Doobie was out to try to calm him down a little bit, get him back on the right path. Braves up 2-0. They have 6 hits already. Martinez has walked a batter, and he's now hit 1, and Adam LaRoche is up there. He singled his last time up.
Braves now have the bases loaded. In that situation so far this year, they're hitting .315, but they don't have any homers. They haven't won a full season without hitting a grand slam since 1989.
Well, let's see if they can take care of that right here.
Yeah, they got the right guy at the plate, that's for sure.
Adam 8 for his last 15. 2 homers included.
Braves no grand slam. Ryan Howard has 3 this season.
1-1. That doesn't surprise me. Again, lefties have not had a lot of success against Pedro this year, but tonight left-handers picking on him pretty good.
I hadn't seen him pitch inside as much as he normally does.
Another base hit. That'll plate 1. McCann's around third. He'll be held there as Worth gets it in quickly, and the Braves having to play it station to station, but that plates another run. LaRoche is 2 for 2. He's driven into it. It's 3-0.
Well, just as I said it, Joe, he hadn't been pitching that much inside with his fastball, and you see here he gets another breaking ball. Adam does here. Again, stays just almost the same swing as he had his previous at bat, where he gets a little breaking ball down in the strike zone around the knees and just goes down there and gets it. And you see Brian Snitker hold the runner there with McCann running.
It's almost like Adam's been up there looking for off-speed pitches.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier. They said he's been throwing a lot of fastballs, but I hadn't really seen that tonight.
No, me neither. Matt Diaz, the batter, he hit into a fielder's choice his first time. Bases loaded, 1 out. Strike call. Chance to really blow this open. Good numbers for Matt in this situation. Pedro takes too much time, and Matt steps out. Martinez 219 career wins, 99 losses, and a career ERA of 2.91. And he and Baco having a problem. Chad Durbin loosening up in the Phillies pen. Change up low. Colorado and Arizona are underway. Colorado has scored twice in the top of the first, still batting. Giants lost 12-1. Florida losing 1-0 in the fourth. Out of play. 1-2 the count.
been watching Matty Diaz for about the last month, and you can really see him working on trying to go to right field, and it's paid off for him because he's had some big home runs that way. And you know, it's not easy to hit home runs to the opposite field, but he's really worked hard on it, and you can see him really grinding trying to hit the ball to the right side.
Behind in the count, 1-2. Got him to chase one up and in. Went after a bad ball. And that's the first strikeout for Pedro tonight. That's a big one because that brings up the pitcher.
Well, this is the first fastball I've seen him all night long thus far, elevated up in the strike zone when a guy's got a strike or two on him, and he does it there. This is something that he normally does as a pitcher out there on the mound, but right there you can see Diaz trying to go to right field, trying to stay up the middle, and he just pumps that high fastball right by him.
Big out for Pedro. Vasquez put down a bunt his first time. And as we told you, he's been swinging the bat pretty well. 357 average his last 14 games. One and one.
You know, Pedro says that he can still, you know, strike out guys when he wants to, but that's not what he's trying to do now. He's just trying to hit the corners and work off that changeup. But he's going to have to throw a little bit more fastballs tonight if he's going to get through this lineup.
Big curveball right back to him. And he's going to get out of the inning having allowed 2 runs, but it could have been a lot worse. This has been the Airtran Airways home run inning of the game. Be sure to register at PeachtreeTV.com/Braves for official rules and your chance to win.
Welcome back to Turner Field. We go to the top of the 4th. The Braves up 3-0. And fans, here's tonight's Toyota Tacoma trivia question. Cue the truck, as a guy close to me would say. Chipper Jones started his career with 14 straight 20 home run seasons. That's 95 through 2008. Who else accomplished this?
14 straight 20 or more? One guy?
Just one guy.
Okay. 14 straight with 20 or more. Kind of like a Hank Aaron on that.
Yeah, to hit 755, yeah, you got to do some damage.
Don't know if he started his career his first year with 20, but kind of like that. Raul Ibanez starts the 4th inning for the Phillies. Braves up 3-0. One more hit in the 2nd or 3rd inning, though, and they can have a very comfortable lead. 2-0 to Ibanez, who struck out his first time up.
Yeah, I think the key at bat there was the Matt Diaz at bat there, and you expect Pedro to do that. He gets himself in those situations, but he's good enough to get out of them also.
3-0 now to Ibanez. Don't want to start with a walk here. Javi's walked 2 already. In fact, he's walked 3 with the intentional pass to Howard in the 3rd inning. There's a strike.
That is a good question.
Yeah. Well hit, but foul and out of play. 3-2. Yeah, because you just expect it to be somebody who's hit a lot of home runs in their career, certainly.
They had to get off to a good start.
Yeah, they started off hitting long balls from the get-go. Payoff pitch to Ibanez. Right back at him and into center field. Ibanez leads off the 4th inning with a solid single. And Pedro Feliz, the batter, he singled to right his first time. Third hit of the night for the Phillies. Phillies last year owned Atlanta on their way to the World Championship. They were 14-4 against the Braves. But worse than that, they won every game played here. 9-0 against the Braves last year at Turner Field. Braves lead the season series here this year 4-3.
Yeah, I think the difference is the pitching staff this year is much better than it was last year. You look at Javier Vasquez and Jair Jurgens, and you got Derek Lowe now, so a little bit different pitching staff now. To me, one of the best in the National League. And you look at those numbers versus Philadelphia by the season, and this year a little bit different than last year.
And much better play here at Turner Field. Hard hit to Chipper, might be 2. There's 1. Good turn by Prado, double play. Phillies are #1 in the league in grounding into the fewest double plays, but they get caught there on a hard hit ball right at Chipper.
Yeah, this is tailor-made here, Joe. Exactly what you want if you're Javier Vasquez. Don't go up there trying to strike him out. Just get you a good ground ball and let the defense work for you. With this pitching staff, the way they pitch, your defense ought to play well behind them.
Well, he's only allowed 3 unearned runs all year, Ron. That says to me that the guys are on their toes. He works fast. They don't have a chance to daydream because he's getting the ball back and throwing the next one. Baco, another grounder, this one to Prado, and just like that the inning's over. So leadoff single doesn't amount to anything. A double play and a ground out. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Still 3-0 Braves. 0-0. Pedro Martinez was warming up to start this half inning, but he threw a pitch, and I don't know if he got a crick in his neck or something happened, but the training staff came out, so did Charlie Manuel, and I think he's got to come out of the ball game. He was kind of rotating his neck and shoulders like he had strained something, Ron.
Yeah, you don't want to see this if you're a Phillies fan or in that organization at all, because he's been key the second half of the season for the Philadelphia Phillies. And yeah, it looks like he just got a little strain in his neck or something there. And again, just like last night, you don't want to take a chance on any of your pitchers right now, because you know you're going to get to postseason and you need them down the stretch there.
Well, Charlie Manuel will make the call to the bullpen, brought to you by AT&T, your world delivered. And we'll wait to see who it was. They had Chad Durbin warming up earlier. And we'll let you know who that is coming in from the bullpen when we come back.
"52 games this year, 60 innings, 55 strikeouts, 40 walks. So he's going to have to get that walk total down there. But a good sinker ball, slider ball pitcher. Okay, fans, here's tonight's Toyota Tacoma trivia question. Chipper Jones started his career with 14 straight 20 home run seasons. That's 95 to 2008. Who else accomplished this?
I'm going to go with Hank. I got to go with the hammer.
I have to agree with you on that. The answer is Eddie Matthews.
We were close. Same team.
Hall of Famer.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great question. You know, Eddie Matthews is one of those guys that a lot of people, you don't hear a whole lot about, but he was a tremendous hitter.
What a player. Great third baseman, too. Braves up 3-0. Beginning to rain a little bit here at Turner Field. Need to get 4.5 in for it to be an official contest. Forecast, we were told, said that we'd be okay till about 10 o'clock. But it's only 8:30 or thereabouts, and it's already beginning to sprinkle. Chad Durbin, four-seam fastballs, sinker slider, as Ron said, also has a curveball, but the slider's a good hard one. Also mixes in a changeup. Don't need that. Not with a 3-0 lead here. Nate McLouth, top of the order. He's 0 for 2. Durbin worked an inning last night. Gave up 2 hits and a run, including a double to Garrett Anderson. Out of play. That was in the 9th inning. So Pedro Martinez is out. Looked like he might have suffered kind of a stinger type problem in his neck or shoulders, and he's out of the game. Durbin on.
Durbin, a good veteran pitcher that comes in and throws strikes.
2-2 to Nate. Jay Happ last night started for the Phillies, and he only went 3 after aggravating his oblique injury. 3 innings tonight for Pedro.
Yeah, and I asked you this question earlier. Well, why didn't they bring in Jamie Moyer? Well, he's pitching on Tuesday. He's going to start the game on Tuesday, so that's why he has been in the bullpen, but he's going to get a start on Tuesday.
Ball 4 to McLeod. Leadoff walk. And you can understand why, because Jamie Moyer's about 100-0 against the Florida Marlins in his career. They can't beat him. So from a Brave standpoint, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Martin Prado doubled his last time up as leading off the third. Came around to score. He's 1 for 2 tonight. 9 for his last 15. He's caught fire again. Average up to 299. There's the ageless left-handed wonder.
He must enjoy it out there in the bullpen, huh?
Struck out Eddie Matthews a time or two. Throw to first, and McLeod is back.
I'm not going to tell him you said that.
Braves have had base runners on every inning. Scored 1 in the second, 2 in the third. Runner goes. Baco's throw. Short hopped into center field. McLeod on his way to third. Nate has his 18th stolen base, and there's also an error on Baco.
Oh, this is another reason why Bobby Cox and the Atlanta Braves went out and got Nate McLeod, because he can do this. What a tremendous jump there. He just read the pitcher's move perfect there. Durbin being a right-handed hitter, you take a right-handed pitcher, you take a look at that pants leg, and if it moves, you know when you can take off or not. And Nate McLeod has been very good at getting good jumps on pitchers.
And Martin will drive him in. Deep fly caught by Francisco on the warning track, and an easy trot home for McLeod. Prado comes through with his 46th RBI, and the Braves are up 4-0.
Now that's a manufactured run right there, Joe. That's exactly what you like to see as a former player. You like to see these guys get on base, steal second, put some pressure on the defense. It makes the guy's job behind you much easier. If you can steal second and steal third, guy behind you, all he has to do is put it in play.
Chipper skies one to shallow right, and Worth looking up into the sprinkles makes the catch. 2 down.
You know, I talked about it earlier. You know, Escobar getting taken out of the game for a play that probably he should have hustled a little more on. And you know, I always wanted to say this to you. I respect the fact that you held George Brett back that day, because if it was me, I would have let him go.
I think the damage had already been done.
I mean, take a home run away from the guy.
Yeah. Brian McCann trying to beat the shift with a bunt. Bunts it foul, 0-1. Well, the funny part about that, Ron, is that Joe Brinkman, the umpire who had George, was saying to me, "You got him? Are you sure? Have you got him?" Well hit to right. Did he get enough? Worth into the corner. In foul territory, runs out of room, and it drops into the tunnel. Not too far from where Brian dropped a 3-run homer last night.
Like Jason Worth had a pretty good beat on this ball here, and if it would have stayed in the ballpark, he probably had a chance to catch that.
Two-run homer for Brian last night. My mistake.
Yeah, good thing that was foul. Wasn't Tim McClellan behind the plate for that game?
He was.
Didn't realize he had been around that long.
Yep, just a kid in those days. 1-2 to Brian. Called strike 3 to McCann, but Durbin comes in and gives up a run. Braves add to their lead. We go to the 5th. Atlanta on top 4-0.
was ranked #1 in guest service nationwide for 5 straight years. Check into Jameson Inns and experience our new Pillow Top premium beds and the best in Southern hospitality. Jameson Inns, you deserve a new deal.
Top of the 5th inning. Need 3 outs to make this an official contest. Chad Durbin's going to hit for himself, as Charlie Manuel doesn't want to use up anybody else in the bullpen. He sends a one-hopper to Chipper, and he handles it, and 1 out. Now let's take time to take a look at the SunTrust Solid Performers, brought to you by SunTrust. Live solid, bank solid. How about the strikeout leader since the 2000 season? Entering tonight, Randy Johnson at the top of that list, and Javi Vasquez is second. Amazing. Added to his list tonight with a 4 that's included there. The 1,983 include the 4 strikeouts tonight. Pedro Martinez, 4th. Pedro, if you just joined us, had to leave the game after it looked like he got a crick in his neck warming up last inning.
Take a look at those numbers, and that was the point I was trying to make earlier. How does Javier Vasquez not stay with one ball club? It just amazes me.
Jimmy Rollins has hit the ball like a rocket twice, and he's 0 for 2. Robbed by Prado on the first pitch of the game. Robbed by Chipper in the 3rd.
Javier Vasquez has thrown 200 innings or more in every season since 2000, except 2004, but he had 198 innings that year. That's pretty steady.
Yes, it is. And really works hard. I mean, between starts, he is really putting in the effort it takes to stay on top. Never been on the disabled list. That's a testament to that good work. In the air to left center. McLouth. 2 down.
So that brings up the question. Can you keep Javier Vasquez next year?
Sure you can. Under contract. I can't imagine him not being in a Braves uniform next year the way he's performed.
This starting rotation, I wouldn't want to break any of them up.
No. I mean, they've got an extra body there. 6 guys right now, including Kawakami, with Tim Hudson coming back. So there's some flexibility there, but as the old adage goes, you can never have enough starting pitching.
Right. Tim Hudson has, or the Braves have an option on Tim Hudson next year, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for about $13 million, I think. Good curveball, 1-1 to Francisco, who's 1 for 2. I would venture a guess, Ron, that if the Braves don't exercise that option on Tim and he becomes a free agent, he'll have a few phone calls.
Yes.
Fastball missed, 2-1. Colorado got 2 in the first at Arizona. They're now in the 2nd inning, 2-0 Rockies. Well hit deep center. McLouth has a beat on it. Inning over. This game is official. No matter what happens weather-wise, and the Braves are on top 4-0.
broadcast is presented by authority of the Atlanta Braves and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Atlanta Braves.
Rain intensity picking up just a little bit as we go to the bottom of the fifth. Garrett Anderson 1 for 2 with a double and a run scored, leads off the inning. Joe Simpson and Ron Gant with you on Peachtree TV, our last broadcast of the year of Braves baseball on Peachtree TV, and we're glad you're with us tonight. Garrett's now hit in 5 straight. McCann's extended his hitting streak to 8 tonight. Four to nothing Atlanta. Straight up the chute. Rollins calls off Utley and makes the catch. You were talking about the Phillies defense a little bit earlier, Ron, and they came into this series tied for first in the league in defense with the Pirates. Pirates have made fewer errors, but they haven't had as many chances apparently to make all the percentages even out. But this is a good, solid defensive group.
Yeah, it's a testament to that pitching staff. What you mentioned earlier, when you have guys out there on the mound that throw strikes and goes after these hitters, your defense is going to play better. They're into every pitch because they're not standing out there for 30 minutes per half an inning. So the Phillies pitch well and they play defense well, and that's what wins championships.
Ryan Howard worked hard this spring to improve his defense. He's really cut down on his errors at first. Escobar hit by a pitch his last time up. Single back in the second inning.
Paul Bacco took exception to Escobar dropping that bat right near him there. Took his mitt and just tossed it out of the way.
1-2 to you know. A little foul ball payback for Paul.
Joe, I think that the Braves are pretty much in the same situation here as you take a foul. Let's look at this foul tip here. So you want to be a catcher, huh? Sure, his bell's ringing a little bit.
Breaking ball over the middle. Rollins got him. Good play.
But as I was saying, I think the Braves are pretty much in that same situation to where they have that great starting pitching and they play really good defense, but you have to score runs, and they have the talent to do that, and they've shown that over the last couple of weeks. But you got to do it consistently, day in and day out, from day one, coming out of spring training, and they just hadn't done that the first half of the season. And a lot of that had to do with some of the acquisitions that they brought in, like a Nate McLouth, and Garrett Anderson finally got hot. And but I think they have the makeup and have the team to be able to, to win a championship or two because of the starting pitching. Got to score runs, though.
Got to get a little more consistent. I mean, they've shown signs of really being good and really potent. I mean, during the winning streak, they were averaging over 6 runs a game, and it just kind of proved what can happen when they do put some runs on the board.
Well, you take a look at all those banners out there in the outfield and left, and that's, yeah, we had great pitching in the early 90s. We played good defense, but we had some guys, myself, David Justice, Terry Pendleton could take you deep, but Dave and I hit 30-plus home runs a season. So you have to have some of those guys in your lineup.
I was just going to say, and it's a very good point, that a lot of those banners are out there. Everybody talks about the pitching, but all those teams were loaded with power, too, up and down the lineup. Not every guy, but enough.
Yeah, Andrew Jones hit 50 home runs one year. So, you got to have some guys that can put a charge into one every once in a while, at least 2 or 3 of them in a lineup, and make your lineup balanced.
That's where Adam has made a difference since he joined the ball club, too. McCann hit his 20th last night. But that would be as great a job as Frank Redden did addressing the need for pitching in the offseason. You have to guess that he will try to address some need for power next year. LaRoche keeps his perfect night going. He's 2 for 2 with a walk now. He's driven in 2. Matt Diaz looks to extend his 5-game hitting streak. 0 for 2.
Yeah, I think Frank Wren is definitely on the right path. I think he's putting together a pretty good ball club, like I said, with some really good pitching. And he knows that there's some guys like a Freddie Freeman and Jason Hayward down in the minor leagues, and they have some guys that can come in and hit.
Boy, there's a drive to center. On the run, Francisco. And that ball is gone. Home run, Diaz. He does extend the hitting streak, and in fine fashion. Number 11 on the year, and it's 6-0 Atlanta. There's a little pop for you.
Absolutely, Joe. And this is one of the things I noticed about Matt Diaz is, you know, he can look foolish up there a couple swings and get 2 strikes on him or whatever, but if you make a mistake in the strike zone, he is going to hit the ball hard. He's shown it time in and time out. Every at bat, if you make a mistake, he will make you pay. That was a hanging breaking ball around the letters, and he don't miss many of those.
Javi Vasquez bats with 2 outs, and Matt just continues his tear against the Phillies. 21 for 41 on the year, and 5 of his 11 homers against the Phillies. Martin Prado has 10 homers on the year. He's hit 3 of them against the Phillies. Utley, a little in between hot, but the pitcher running, and he'll throw him out. But the Braves add to their lead. The 2-run homer by Matt Diaz to center field puts the Braves up by a half dozen. To the top of the 6th inning. Let's take a look at the Braves' upcoming schedule, brought to you by AirTran Airways. Go, there's nothing stopping you. Final game of the series, final meeting of the year between the Braves and the Phillies tomorrow afternoon. That'll be on Fox Sports South. John Shambi and I will have that one for you. Then back on the road as the Braves go to New York, Citi Field, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 7:10 first pitch. All 3 games on Sports South, and all the games on the Braves flagship station, Project 961. Hope you'll make your plans to be with us. Chase Utley, Ryan Howard, Jason Worth, the heart of the order for the Phillies as they try to figure out a way to get back in this one. And the umbrellas are popping up as the rain gets a little heavier. Utley tonight walked in the first, grounded out in the third.
Braves are right back on track of scoring 6 runs per game. Something they've done over the last about 2 weeks or so, and it's something good to see.
McLeod there for the out, one away.
Fans, Dave Ramsey. $1 ticket night is Monday, September 28th, when the Braves take on the Marlins. All upper reserve tickets are $1, courtesy of Dave Ramsey, 640 WGST, and your Atlanta Braves. For tickets, visit braves.com/Dave Ramsey.
Outstanding dollar ticket night.
Might get one of those myself.
Get a bunch. Get a bunch and pass them around. Ryan Howard tonight is flied out, and he's drawn an intentional pass. Shift is on for him, and he takes inside. Ryan Howard, 4 straight years now of 40 or more homers and 120 or more RBIs. 4 straight. Only 4 other players. Only 3 other players have done that in their career. Babe Ruth did it 7 times. Ken Griffey Jr. and Sammy Sosa did it 4 times.
That's an elite group.
Yes, it is. That will be Escobar making the play with the shift on, so that out goes 6-3.
I had to take a double take there. I forgot they had the shift on.
Yeah.
Well, what's Escobar doing playing second?
Because he decided to. That game tomorrow between the Braves and Phillies, quite a matchup. Tommy Hanson against Cliff Lee. You see Worth tonight, a strikeout and a flyout. 3-hit shutout being twirled by that man, Javi Vasquez. And he leads 6-0. Fastball at 91 on the corner.
It's going to be fun to watch those 2 guys on the mound tomorrow also.
Tommy's been spectacular lately.
He's one of those guys that just amazes me. To be so young in his first year in Major League Baseball.
Remember when I said that Javi had thrown 40-some pitches in the 2nd inning? He's only got 83 total here in the 6th. Worth lays off, 2-1.
Of course, Cliff Lee has been as advertised for the Phillies also.
Braves handed him his first loss in a Phillies uniform.
Hit him pretty hard.
That was a couple of starts ago for him. Fastball fouled off of Bill Welke, the umpire. 2-2. Javi Vasquez last 2 starts coming into tonight at Houston. He won 2-1. He went 7 innings of 3-hit shutout ball in that one. Walked 4, struck out 9. And then the Cardinals, complete game, 9 innings, 7 hits, 2 runs. Those runs came in the 9th inning. No walks, struck out 8. 3-hit shutout going tonight. He spanned 4.
There's that little backup slider there. Pretty good pitch for a right-handed pitcher, especially against a right-handed hitter there. Again, I talked about right-handed hitters getting jammed on that pitch because they anticipate the break, and you go into the ball thinking it's going to break, and you jam yourself.
Out of play.
Sometimes it'll fool the umpire, too. That was a pretty good pitch.
If a pitcher can figure out how to throw that when he wants to, darn good pitch.
Yeah, that's a good point, because I don't think that they're actually trying to do that. It just didn't break like they wanted it to. They started too far inside, but it's a good pitch. It's effective.
Got him. Vasquez gets him 1, 2, 3. He's got 5 strikeouts. He's dealing. Braves lead it 6-0.
5 times a week.
I can't wait.
My Name is Earl premieres Monday at 6:30 on Peachtree TV.
All Braves tonight. Bottom of the 6th inning. They lead it 6-0. Javi Vasquez has a 3-hit shutout working. The rain not dampening the good feelings everybody's having here tonight. But they would like it to stop. Nate McLeod leads off the 6th and promptly sends one into right field, base hit. His first hit of the night, and snaps an 0 for 7 in this series.
Joe, you were just talking about Javier Vasquez breezing through that last inning. Well, he now has 5 strikeouts in this game, and if he continues to do that the rest of the season, he'll be the first player in franchise history with a minimum of 30 starts to have 5 strikeouts in every game in a season.
Wow.
That is amazing.
That's impressive, given some of the pitchers that have come through here. Martin Prado, a double in 2 trips and a sacrifice fly. Martin's got a good bat working with some good pine tar on it. Did you put a lot of pine tar on your bat?
No, I did not. I used a little bit, but I never was a really big pine tar guy. A little bit of that little sticky tube thing.
Yeah. I like that stuff too.
A lot of guys that put a lot of pine tar on their bats, like Prado does, they believe that the bat doesn't break as easy because the pine tar gets harder as the longer it stays on there. It makes the bat a little harder.
Martin trying to go the other way, falls behind 0-2.
Guess if you got a hot bat going, you don't want it to break, do you?
No way. And that's the case with Martin. He wants that one to last a while. It's working. Look out. I just saw you flinch. Do you do that? I do that too sometimes on an inside pitch to a guy. I find myself kind of jackknifing out of the way a little bit.
Flashback.
I saw you. I saw you. You moved out of the way of that pitch. Sergio Escalona loosening up. We just showed you him. As Worth hauls that one in. 1 out. And Chipper the batter. He's 1 for 2 with a walk tonight. Word on Pedro is that came out of the game for what we suspected. Tightness on the right side of his neck. And it happened while he was warming up before the start of the 4th inning. Hard hit but foul by Chipper, and the count 1-1. I'm with you, Ron. You said earlier you thought it looked like Chipper was beginning to come around a little bit. He's throwing the big end of the bat again.
Yeah, when you see him do that with a tough pitch just off the plate, 2 or 3 inches off the plate, and he lines it over the left or even foul, you know he's back on track.
Ooh, there's 1-2, but he hooked it foul.
I don't know what he's done, but I tell you, he looks much better up there. He even looks more relaxed.
A little more top hand on that swing, too.
Think you go away and then you think you can come in, and that breaking ball just stays in the middle of the plate. Chipper threw it, like you said, Joe, threw a lot of top hand at that one.
Got him with a backdoor slider. No argument from Chipper. I'm not sure he was thrilled with it, but let's take another look at it.
A little back door here, and I got to say that's off the plate.
Yeah, never had the plate. Durbin has his 2nd strikeout. Charlie Manuel out of the dugout. He's going to make a double switch here. Jason Worth made the last out of the inning. I don't know if he'll be the man replaced here on the double switch. We'll wait to see. the left-hander Escalona definitely coming into work for Durbin, and in fact it is going to be Jason Worth who comes out, and I believe that's John Mayberry Jr. who's going out to right field. So the Phillies make the AT&T call to the bullpen, brought to you by AT&T, your world delivered, and we'll be right back.
September 21st, it's premiere week on Peachtree TV. At 6, it's the premiere of The Office, followed by My Name is Earl at 6:30, and at 9 o'clock in prime time, it's Law and Order SVU. The Office, My Name is Earl, and Law and Order SVU, premiering Monday, September 21st, only on Peachtree TV. Go Braves!
Thank you, JJ. John Mayberry checks in to play right field. He'll bat ninth. Jason Worth is out of the game, and hitting in his spot will be Sergio Escalona. This guy has been called up, Ron, for the 6th time this year.
Yeah, you know, he's one of those guys he just can't seem to find it. And you know, if he could pick up maybe one more pitch, or a little changeup or something that he can work on, he'll be a little bit more effective.
They're a little short-handed, left-handed in their bullpen. Scott Ayer's been nursing an injury, but he should be ready by Monday. And J.C. Romero still not ready yet. He's been battling an injury too, as McCann fouls off the first one. Escalona, 24 years old, 25 now, out of Venezuela, 6 feet, 170 pounds. Hard hit, but right at Felice. Brian hit it hard, and he'd had a good night. But Escalona comes in and gets the out. Braves leave a runner. We've played 6, and Atlanta has 6.
world of Coca-Cola. Where else but the world of Coca-Cola could jog a 7-foot-tall polar bear? Take home a free 8-ounce glass bottle of Coke produced on site and taste over 60 different beverages from around the world. Make plans to visit the world of Coca-Cola today.
6 innings in the books. Braves up 6-0 tonight. They've done it on 9 hits. 1 home run. That was by Matt Diaz in the 5th. A 2-run shot. Here's a look at the National League wild card standings updated with San Francisco's loss in there today, Ron. Florida trailing tonight. Colorado leading. Actually, Arizona's taken a 3-2 lead over Colorado in the 4th.
Go Arizona.
Ibanez leads off for the Phillies. 1 for 2 tonight. Sends a fly ball to left center. And McLeod is there for the out.
You gotta love it. You gotta love it if you're playing behind Javier Vasquez. He comes in there, he throws strikes, he makes the guys put it in play, uses his defense, and he'll get a strikeout when he needs it. Just a perfect guy to play behind.
Justin Upton hit a 3-run homer for the Diamondbacks in the 3rd inning to give Arizona that lead. Cincinnati leading Florida 2-1 in the 7th, bottom of the 7th. Reds had them last night, but Florida rallied for 4 in the 9th. Pedro Feliz 1 for 2 tonight. Good curveball.
Starting to get flashbacks, man, with Javier out there. It makes me want to go grab a glove and go out in the outfield, man. He's just cruising through this lineup.
He'll keep you busy. He'll keep your attention as a defender, won't he?
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I had the pleasure to play behind Maddox and Glavine and Smoltz and all those guys, and he's right in that mold. I mean, he's just, you know, a power pitcher that can throw strikes and keep the ball down in the strike zone. That's what you want to see.
And give you a chance to win. Kind of telegraphed that change up a little bit. Good that it was way off the plate at only 65 miles an hour. Might have tried something different there.
I was going to say, he's just working on it.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can do that up 6-0. Tried it again.
He waved his hand like, I ain't going to try it again.
Saw 3 walks for him. One of those was intentional. Back to business. Payoff pitch. Hard hit but foul. Last game of the season between these two teams tomorrow. Then the Braves head out on their last road trip of the year. 3 games in New York. An off day next Thursday. And then 3 in Washington. 7 of their last 10 against the Nationals.
And that's a team that they have had some serious problems with this year. Can you imagine their record early in the season if they would have just got through that ball club?
Washington's been playing better. I have to give them credit that they've improved some. It'll be interesting to see how their team shapes up next year with Steven Strasburg and whether or not he's going to be on their pitching staff. Struck him out. Took a little off. Strikeout number 6 for Javi.
Boy, Feliz had no shot on this pitch right there. You could see him looking off speed. Javier has thrown a lot of change-ups and breaking balls tonight, but that's a perfect fastball on the outside corner. No chance for him to get to it.
10 in a row set down since the single by Ibanez back in the 4th. Paul Baco takes a strike. Pitch number 99 and number 100 coming. 0-2. John Mayberry would be next. He's hitting in the 9th spot after the double switch last inning. Still 0-2.
Yeah, you're right, Joe. After those first couple innings, Vasquez had a really high pitch count there. And just bear it down, man. I tell you, he's gotten into a groove, and he's pitching just as well as he did up in St. Louis right now.
Gave up a walk in the first, gave up a single and a walk in the second, gave up a single and an intentional walk in the third, but no runs. And since then has been cruising. Off speed and a tough one. Hopper handled by LaRoche. Nice play. And the Phillies are retired in order again. That's 11 in a row set down by Vasquez. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Braves up 6-0. Of the Phillies. And a reminder, fans, that every Saturday is SEC Saturday on Peachtree TV with the teams you want to see and the games you don't want to miss. Next Saturday, the action kicks off when the Mississippi State Bulldogs take on the LSU Tigers live in HD. Coverage starts at noon right here on Atlanta's very own Peachtree TV. And for the Braves, Anderson, Escobar, and LaRoche due up in the 7th against Escalona. Garrett tonight a hit in 3 trips. It was a double back in the 2nd inning, and he scored a run. It's like the rain has quieted a bit. Good crowd here tonight at Turner Field, and the Braves on top.
Had a chance to play with Garrett Anderson out in Anaheim for half a season, and it's not a surprise to me that he's done well in the National League because he always could hit that inside fastball. And of course, when you come over to the National League, they're going to throw you more fastballs, and they're learning pretty quickly you can't get one by this guy.
He is very businesslike up there, isn't he? I mean, he is like a surgeon at the plate.
He never lets an at bat rattling. He strikes out. He just goes back to the dugout. He doesn't say anything, no expression. He does that day in and day out, and that's why he's so good.
3-1 the count. To center, but Francisco in his tracks makes the catch. 1 out. That'll bring up Yunel Escobar. And now it's time to take the Longboat Key scorecard, brought to you by the Longboat Key Club and Resort. Plan the perfect summer getaway today at longboatkeyclub.com. Yunel a hit. He was hit by a pitch and he's grounded out.
Average still over 300. You talked about some of the moves that Frank Wren has made, and again, I think he's headed in the right directions, but one of the other departments they're going to have to address is stolen bases. The last 4 years, they've been ranked 29th, 26th, 28th, and 29th. There's certain individuals that have stolen more bases than they have in 1 year.
Yeah, that could definitely be improved. I mean, look at what the Phillies do. I mean, they're able to combine some speed with their power. And in many ways, Ron, I was thinking about their defense earlier when we were talking about it. Unell didn't like that, and he's got to walk away as Bill Welke takes his mask off. Need to stay in the game, leading 6-0. But sometimes that speed helps you defensively too, when you think about the ground covered.
Oh, absolutely, and I believe they do have some guys in the minors that'll bring them that. And you take a look at that pitch, and that's not even close to the strike zone there. So, yeah, that's pretty bad there. And you know, when as a player, if you show those kinds of emotions to umpires more times than none, they're going to start calling that on you.
Omar Infante is going to hit for LaRoche. Adam had a big night. 2 for 2 with a walk. Drove in 2 runs, scored 1. Infante's done well as a pinch hitter this year. 3 for 7. And he's just a point shy of 300 himself. 2 hopper to Felice, and again, this guy can play some third base. 1-2-3 inning. Escalona gets them in order, and we go to the 8th. Braves still up by 6. Seven innings in the books. Braves up 6-0 over the Phillies, and some defensive changes for Atlanta. Reed Gurecki will check in and play left field, giving Garrett Anderson the rest of the night off. Omar Infante stays in the game to play second base, and that'll move Martin Prado over to first. And Javi Vasquez will call it a night. What a good night for him, as Peter Moylan will come on and pitch for the Braves. Vasquez 7 innings, 3 hits, no runs, walked 3, struck out 6, and set down the last 11 in a row. And for Peter Moylan, still leading the league in appearances. This is number 81. Great work for him. And he'll face Mayberry, Rollins, and Francisco here in the 8th inning.
Joe, since the All-Star break, Peter Moreland is 4-0 with a 0.64 ERA, 26 strikeouts. You don't normally look at him as a strikeout pitcher, but that's how good he's been since the All-Star break.
Yeah, he just seems to have gotten stronger, right? His fastball is better. His slider is actually being thrown harder than it was, too. And there it is.
Yeah, and that's after coming off of Tommy John. So,
yeah.
You know, it amazes me how good he's been this year. And, you know, the first part of the year, you kind of saw him trying to feel his way through. But as the year has gone on, like you mentioned, he's gotten stronger.
And he's had a couple of days rest coming into this one. John Mayberry Jr., the batter, son of the former slugging first baseman. 4 homers among his 10 hits, but needs a few more hits, hitting 189. Didn't go, and the count 2-2. Javi Vasquez beat the first place St. Louis Cardinals his last start, went 9 innings, gave up 2 runs, and they were in the 9th inning. And tonight shuts down the Eastern Division leading Phillies on 3 hits. Shuts them out over 7. Not bad.
Pretty good.
Got him. Good sinker. Good start for Moylan.
Well, fans, tonight's Home Depot know-how question of the game comes from Dustin in Cleveland, Georgia. And the question is, what does whip mean? I've had this question asked to me a lot, and it's a great question because a lot of people don't know what that means. Whip is walks plus hits per innings pitch. And, of course, obviously, the lower that number is for a starting pitcher, the better that pitcher is going to be.
Adds up to how many base runners does he average per inning? Rollins first pitch swinging, sends one to left, directly tested, but he makes the catch. Rollins is 0 for 4, and he's now 9 for 71 against Atlanta on the year. Ben Francisco 1 for 3, singled in the 3rd. Shane Victorino has been battling a stomach ailment, took himself out of the game Thursday. Francisco played last night, had a big night, was back in there again today. See who plays tomorrow.
Yeah, Victorino is a huge part of that offense. I talked about that earlier. Right now he's hitting 296 and he's got 23 stolen bases, so that goes to show you how much he's been a part of this offense.
Peter kicking a little mud off his shoes. And jumped at Francisco with that one. Tough play for Infante, but he makes the play. And Peter Moylan now 81 games this season without allowing a homer. That's a major league record.
5 times a week.
That's what she said.
The Office premieres Monday at 6 on Peachtree TV.
35,818 here tonight for Game 2 of this series, and they've enjoyed every minute of it with the Braves on top 6-0. Yeah, they've had about a few raindrops, but what's a little rain when the Braves are shutting out the Phillies? A new chunker on for the Fightin' Phils. Clay Condrey, who's been battling some injuries lately, left oblique strain, had him on the disabled list twice this year. And the most recent one for almost 2 months. He just came off the DL on September 14th, but good numbers for the Phillies, and they've missed him. Especially you need him right now at Chan-Ho Park hurt, Ron. They're not sure when Park will be back. He's got a bad hamstring, and they're trying to nurse him back so he'll be ready for the postseason.
Yeah, that's one of the things that the Phillies are battling right now. Some of the pitchers coming out of that bullpen. And Clay Condrey I played with in 2002 with the San Diego Padres. Really good fastball. He's got an overhand curveball, and he's got a decent slider also.
Yeah, with the problems they've had at the end of their bullpen, as Dias went foul, they need all hands on deck here at the end of the year.
You know, I think they've gotten off in that bullpen off kilter a little bit because of the problems that Brad Lidge has had. They had to move Ryan Madsen into that closer's role for a period of time, and kind of threw everybody off. And with the guys that you just mentioned that are injured, no one really seems to know what they're going to do from day in and day out.
They've even tried to work Brett Myers into some relief work to try to take some of the pressure off those two guys. Madsen on the left, Lidge on the right. The 0-2 to Diaz got him looking. Strike zone quite large at the moment. Diaz down on strikes for the second time, but he's 1 for 4 with a big 2-run homer back in the 5th.
Here's that little curveball I was talking about. It didn't do a whole lot. He threw it on the outside corner. You would think it would move away more on the outside corner, but kind of backed up a little bit and stayed on the corner. Good pitch.
That was a better pitch than the one to Escobar, to be sure. Brooks Conrad will hit for Moylan. Like this guy, because he goes up there and does that.
And that's what you have to do as a pinch hitter. And guys that have been pinch hit extraordinaires in their careers will tell you, when you go up to the plate, you have to go up there swinging, because you're only going to get 3 swings. So go up there and be ready to hit when you step in there. It's a mind game with yourself when you're pinch hitting. You got to be ready when you walk in that on deck circle to go up to hit.
Takes that one outside, 1-1, and update on the scores. Colorado's come back. They lead Arizona 4-3, bottom of the 5th inning. Florida's come back. They're in the 9th again, and they've taken the lead from Cincinnati 3-2. Giants lost earlier today 12-1 to the Dodgers. And some late heroics again from the Marlins. Still batting in the top of the 9th.
Yeah, I happen to think that pinch hitting is probably one of the toughest things in baseball to do for a couple of reasons. One, you have to be ready, you have to be loose. The other reason is usually when you come in, it's going to be against a guy that can really throw it.
These days, yeah, you're going to catch a guy that's a specialist, that either is a flamethrower or has some kind of special pitch that gets people out late. Ross Glode, who hit a big game-winning walk-off homer against the Braves for the Marlins a few weeks ago, has hit a 2-run homer in the 8th for Florida tonight. Full count to Conrad.
And for a pinch hitter, this is a great at bat by Brooks Conrad. Make him throw some pitches and get one you like.
2 hopper to Utley. Chase throws him out by a step. Good hustle by Conrad. 2 down. And Nate McLouth, the batter. He's reached twice. Walked, stole a base, and scored a run in the 4th. Singled in the 6th. 2 out of 4. Excuse me, 1 for 3. He's reached twice. That doesn't count as a hit, Joe. That walk. I'm catching on, though.
It's the whip.
Yeah. About to get whipped. Didn't go. 2-0. Boy, Minnesota beat Detroit again today, making it interesting in the American League Central. Twins are only 2 back.
Twins are one of those teams that are there at the end every year. You don't seem like it. You don't hear a whole lot about them. But towards the end of the year, they're always there. And one of the guys on that ball club that just amazes me that you don't hear a whole lot about is Joe Nathan, their closer. He is as lights out as they come.
It's a very good suggestion there that people pay more attention to him. He is really good. They beat Justin Verlander today. 3-1 to McLeod. Should get a good one to hit here. But robbed of a hit perhaps there by Condrey. Nice play. And a 1-2-3 inning for Clay Condrey. We go to the 9th. 3 more outs to get. Braves shutting them out. 6-0. And fans, a reminder to stay tuned after the game for the AT&T game summary. AT&T, your world delivered. Our last broadcast of the year of Braves baseball on Peachtree TV. We're glad you've been with us this year. I want to thank Ron for filling in for Chip when he's been away. Thanks to all of our producers and directors, Rodney Vaughn tonight, Maceo Grant, well done. All of our outstanding camera operators, especially when you got to stand down there in the rain like tonight. Well done, everybody, and thank you. Rafael Soriano to try to close the deal here in the 9th. Braves trying to shut out the Phillies for the 2nd time this season. They had not shut out the Phillies even once since April of '05. Heart of the order, though, Utley, Howard, and Worth against Soriano.
I would venture to say that the Phillies don't get shut out much, Joe. That offense.
You wouldn't think. Utley tonight, a walk, a ground out, and a fly out, and now a base hit. Phillies have been shut out 6 times this year, Ron. They've shut out opponents 9 times. Nice to know Ryan Howard will come up here without a chance to tie or win the game.
Yeah, when do you stop pitching to him?
I'll let you know tomorrow, right around 1:35.
I hear you.
Well hit deep left. Gurecki gone. Six to 2 Atlanta. There goes the shutout. Ryan Howard, number 41 on the year. RBIs 122 and 123.
Well, Joe, that's what we were talking about earlier. How strong is Ryan Howard again? You take a look at this pitch, and again, out over the plate, middle half away, and got his arms extended, and he can drive the ball out of the ballpark the opposite way just as easy as he can to right field. And it doesn't matter what ballpark you're in. If you make mistakes to him out over the plate, that's what he does.
He likes the ball away from him. .32 homers in his career against Atlanta. Stairs, pinch hit. Line drive down the line. That'll rattle around in the corner, and he'll have a double. Still nobody out. Rafael Soriano has not retired a hitter. A single, a homer, and a double.
Matt Stairs, one of those guys who talked about pinch hitting earlier, and he's very good at it. Hit a big home run versus the Dodgers a year ago, and big boost in that series off his bat, and again shows there that he's a really good hitter coming off the bench.
Eric Bruntlett will pinch run for Stairs, and Raul Ibanez will step in. Nobody out. 96, nothing wrong with the velocity. Sorry. Go ahead, Ron.
That home run versus the Dodgers last year in the playoffs was against Jonathan Broxton. He was throwing about 98 to 100 that night.
Right. There's a strike to Ibanez. Raul tonight 1 for 3. Soriano last pitched 2 days ago against the Mets. Worked an inning, gave up a hit, but zeros across otherwise. Out of play.
That's a little bit better there. That's more on the corner, the outside corner there. But those previous pitches are more in the middle of the plate, and he's not as sharp as he normally is when he comes out of that bullpen. Take a look at this pitch here, and it's running away there, and that's where you want to see it. You don't want to see that that ball split the middle of that plate.
And straight. You want to see a little life on it. Two and two. Ryan Howard, by the way, on the season, 8 home runs against Atlanta and 16 RBIs. His last 8 games against Atlanta, 8 homers and 14 RBIs. Mercy. Full count.
Yeah, most home runs versus Atlanta among all active major league players. Of course, we're going to see the Phillies a lot more, but still, that's pretty impressive. You know, I've talked to pitchers before, and sometimes you'll hear them say that their arm felt too good. They don't have that command that they normally do when they're feeling average or normal.
He walked him. Braves have activity in their bullpen behind Soriano, Medlin, and O'Flaherty. Pedro Feliz comes to the plate. And the tying run comes into the on-deck circle as Roger McDowell goes out to try to find out what's wrong with Rafael. He's faced 4 batters, and they've all reached. That was a quick discussion.
Rafael just hadn't been able to put it exactly where he wants to. He's catching too much of the plate, and that makes him get a little passive out there, and he's trying not to walk guys, and then you start aiming the ball, and that's where you get the bases on balls.
Feliz 1 for 3 tonight. A single to right his first time up. Soriano gets ahead of him 0-1. Phillies 0 for 5 in his career against Soriano. Breaking ball, popped him up. Chipper, foul territory. Infield fly rule is called. 1 out.
Well, that's a little better, and I think that'll help him out with his confidence there. He made a pretty good pitch on that pitch there, and you know, a tough at bat by Felice, but that was just a good pitch, got in on him.
Paul Bacco is due up, but it's going to be Shane Victorino who comes out on deck to pinch hit. Did not play last night, did not play tonight until now. Been battling a stomach ailment. 0 for 2 in his career against Rafael Soriano. Big numbers against the Braves until this year, but like we've been saying, the Braves have handled both Rollins and Victorino all year. Strike call. He stands right up on top of the plate. Switch hitter. A career high for him this year in hits, doubles, triples, walks, and tied in RBIs. A couple of good breaking balls from Soriano, and it's 0-2.
We talked about the mentality, pinch hitting, and Victorino is one of those guys, he's used to playing every day, so he's not used to being in this situation.
Yanked that one past Davey Lopes, still 0-2. And McCann out with a quick visit with Soriano. Victorino only 3 pinch hit appearances. You're right, Ron. 0 for 3.
And you got to come in and face Soriano, and that's what I was talking about earlier. It's going to be a guy that's got good stuff.
Yeah, you got to crank it up. Got him. Good right by him. Pulled off that one, anticipating having to get around on an inside fastball, and the 96 heater was out away from him.
Yeah, good pitch here. A lot of life on that fastball, and you can tell that Soriano's feeling real good out there because he's rushing it up there at 96 or 97 miles an hour. But again, pinch hitting right there for Victorino. He only got 2 swings at bat, and he struck out. So, like I said earlier, you have to go up there and you got to be ready to hit that first strike, or you're not going to get the swings in.
Here's a guy who knows how to pinch hit. Greg Dobbs. He's a good one. Hitting .255, 7 for 46 this year, though, as a pinch hitter. His number's off drastically from a year ago.
Yeah, 355 in 08 with 16 RBIs this year. 152, like you mentioned, 3 RBIs.
2 out, 2 in, 2 on. 0-1. First 4 men reached. Ryan Howard, a 2-run homer. It spoiled the shutout. One and one to Dobbs. Braves trying to make it 10 wins on the year against the Phillies. slider missed, and it's 2-1.
Well, you certainly don't want to base on balls here.
Just leave the potential tying run in the on-deck circle.
He hit a big home run last night also.
That's Jimmy Rollins. 2-1 pitch, roped to right field, base hit. Bruntlett will be waved home. Ibanez stopped at second, but then went to third after Diaz played it safe into second base, as he should. The tying run will come to the plate in the form of Jimmy Rollins as as Dobbs comes through with a pinch hit single.
Yeah, when you get behind in the count and you have to throw a fastball, if you don't make a perfect pitch on the corner down at the knees, then these guys that can come off the bench and hit, that's what they do. They specialize in coming off the bench and hitting guys like Soriano for base hits, and Dobbs does a great job there.
Rollins 0 for 4 tonight. 1 hit last night, and it was a 3-run homer. Takes a strike. Rollins 0 for 3 in his career against Soriano. 6-3 Atlanta. First and third, 2 out. 1-1.
You know, if you're the Phillies too, you know right now that Soriano is struggling with his command. So if you go up to the plate, you know you can get a good pitch to hit because he's trying to find it.
Runner goes, and a base hit to left field. Rollins comes through, goes the other way, and he makes it 6-4. Tying runs on for Ben Francisco. He's the 9th man to come to the plate this inning. All against Soriano.
You know, as an offense, you know, once that floodgate opens, you don't want to be the guy to make an out. And again, they can sense that he's struggling out there on the mound with his command. He's throwing hard, but he doesn't have the command that he normally has when he comes out of the bullpen. The Phillies know that. They're looking for a good pitch in the zone to hit, and they're hitting it.
Fans are on their feet, but they were anticipating a quick 1-2-3 inning. It's been anything but that. Francisco 1 out of 4 tonight. Takes a strike. Colorado 4-3 over Arizona in the 6th. The Marlins beat Cincinnati 3-2. Don't know what was wrong with that. Maybe high.
Pretty good slider here again. Yeah, that's a good pitch.
Good pitch. A couple of innings ago, the strike zone had gotten very large. Now it's not. 2 out, tying runs aboard. This is a key hitter here, Ron, because no matter what Francisco does, you got Utley and Howard waiting behind him. And they started the inning.
Yeah, you have got to get this guy here and end it.
Soriano's gotten ahead of him. 1-2. 35,818 on their feet. In the air, shallow right. Ought to end it. Diaz in. Ball game. It wasn't pretty, but it worked. Phillies put 4 across in the 9th, leave the tying runs on base, and the Braves even the series at a game apiece with a 6-4 victory. Ron and I will be back to wrap it up right after this.